Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I finally got around to getting those Springans together, and the best part is I did get them built for the new July ban list. So let's get you guys a deck list, right? So the only thing I would like to say beforehand while I'm fixing my camera angle is I love machine decks, and I love the fact that I'm always complaining there's not enough good fire decks outside of like two, and one of them being Salamangreat. So this is another cool addition to the fire attribute just in general. So let's start off with that main. I am running 3 copies Ash Blossom because again it's beginning of a meta, so it's more important now. Obviously this is going to make this slightly less budget for some. We're going to be using 3 copies of Springans Bronga. I love him. He's awesome. These guys also have a shared ability, so they almost always can create themselves as Xyz materials, which is cool. 3 copies Brothers. 3 copies Captain Sargus. 2 copies Pedor. Now, on Pedor, it's just based on his effect. It's just not as, I don't know, great in 3. 2's perfect. And 3 Rockies, and he's a great starter. Over to the spells, we're going to be using a single copy Called by the Grave, because good card is good. 1 copy Double or Nothing. So I think you guys already know something that's in the extra deck. It was in my birthday / 750 sub video. I hope that you guys got a chance to watch that for the Utopia build. If not, maybe wait till this one's over and then go check it out. So 1 copy there. Single Foolish Burial. And 3 copies, the Sands Sea Gold Golgonda. One of the cooler field spells, especially for this archetype. We are running 3 copies of Spriggan's Booty, 3 copies of the Spriggan's Watch, single Terraforming, because the field spell is just that important, and 3 trade-ins. We want to maximize on the fact that we have 6 8-star cards in our main deck. And again, this was also re-released as a regular rare in a recent set release. So kind of cool to see this card. I got some traps for you today. 3 strikes seems to be a standard thing that I do. Single copy Spriggan's Blast because it's cool. Single copy of Call because again it's pretty cool. And 3 copies Torrential Tribute because I do like to incorporate cards I've used as previous card of the weeks. And with the way this deck can just rebuild itself, why not? I mean, honestly. Extra deck real quick for you. But before I do that, 41 cards on the main deck. If you want to drop out the Utopia engine and play this differently, feel free to just simply drop the Double or Nothing and you can keep the rest of the main without dipping below 40. But to the extra deck, I'm using 2 copies of Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon. We're just looking to discard them. 1 copy Dingarusu or Dinjarusu, or however, guys, maybe a phonetic down in the comment section for me. The Orchis to the Evening Star. Again, since it is a Utopia package or engine, single number 39, single 39 double, single S39 prime, and single S39 the Lightning. It gives you a couple ways to go about it. And honestly, there's not really a wrong way. Back to things that are actually necessary. I got 2 copies Merrymaker if the cards will stop sticking together. You're going to want to run 2 of those. And again, if you drop out the Utopia stuff, maybe you'll increase that and put in stuff like maybe Baguska or Dagaris. 3 copies Explower, their Spriggan Ship. Pretty cool card. Light on the links today. I just went with Masquerena, Phoenix, and Unicorn. Just a little bit of mess with the opponent and troll on their turn. But nothing too crazy. So if you guys were just here for the video, just for the list itself, thank you for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to have you guys. Thanks for watching. And if this has helped and you aren't already, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Let your friends know about it. Again, if that was all you were here for, if you didn't see that Utopia deck, maybe go back, check that out. Either way, have a great day. We'll see you guys in the next video. Everybody else, let's go over some effects. I know these guys aren't super common, but it's pretty low-key, a low-cost deck for most of the core. I think I spent maybe $7 getting most of it from a single player, so that was fine. Again, you guys understand Ash by this point. This is going to stop your opponent's deck interactions. Starting off with Bronga. If this is in the hand, field, or graveyard, you can target a Spriggan's Xyz that you control, attach this to it as material. You can banish this and one Spriggan's with a different name from your graveyard. Add one Spriggan's card from deck to hand, meaning we can get any card we want. You can only use the effect, each effect once per turn, which is fantastic. We're going to go to Brothers, one of the 4 stars. If this is sent from hand or deck to graveyard, target a Spriggan's monster in the graveyard and special summon it back in defense, except same name. And then again, if hand, field, or graveyard, target a Springans Xyz, attach it as material. And again, this is an effect that we're going to see just throughout the whole deck. It's all about powering up our Xyz monsters, which is fantastic. We got the 3 copies of Sargus. Again, this is our other 8. These are between this and Bronga. These are going to be our trade-in targets as well. And again, since we can equip them from the discard as Xyz material, we're kind of not losing anything. So it's got some pretty cool synergy there. Again, if hand, field, or graveyard, you may target a Spriggan's Xyz and attach this as material. During the opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can detach one material from an Xyz monster you control, target a face-up card on the field, and destroy it. So we got a good little spot removal bit of control there. You can only use each of the previous effects once per turn. A Spriggan's Xyz monster that has this as material gains the following effect of gaining an extra 500 attack. So not only is he going to count himself for material, not only can he do a little bit of spot removal by manipulating other cards that were materials on a card, additionally, he's going to act like almost like a silent equip by giving that extra little sneak power over. So again, maximize him, take him to 3 Pador. You contribute this card to target a Spriggan's monster in the graveyard, except Pador, and special summon it. Again, we do have Brothers to help us out with this. So I didn't want to clog this too much. And again, Pador does this on tributing himself, so like you got to play him and then do it. And I don't know, to me that just seemed a little bit much. 3 was definitely too many during playtesting. 1, I didn't see it as much. So I just put it at 2 and said to heck with it. And again, if this is hand, field, or graveyard, target a Spriggan's Xyz, attach this as material, each effect once per turn. Fantastic. Rocky, one of the best, or probably the best starter, which is why we definitely maximized him. If normal or special summoned, target a Great Sand Sea, Gold Golgonda, or a Spriggan's monster in the graveyard except Rocky. Add that back to your hand. So this is going to get us to be able to recycle some stuff after we've gotten a play or 2 in. If this card is in your hand, field, or graveyard, target a Spriggan's Xyz, attach this as material using each effect once per turn. Again, super cool. Love this card. I kind of want a foil reprint. Are you listening, Konami? Foil this guy. Awesome. Called by the Grave, just an excellent one of. We had some space. Again, try to get through your opponent's hand traps. Ash Blossom, going to be a big pain in the butt here for a few weeks. Double or nothing. When a monster's attack is negated, target it. It can make a second attack during this battle phase, and if it does, double its attack. Again, this is part of the Utopia 1 punch, but again, we could do some decent damage with other cards too. We do have the Foolish Burial, and again, sometimes we just want to get the cards to the discard pile, and again, we can trigger a couple of the effects, especially Brothers, by tossing it. We do have the Field Spell, stating all Spriggan Xyz gain 1,000 attack, another great bonus. And when you put this together with Captain Sargus, that'll be 1,500 for the one that's actually equipped with it. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If you control no Spriggan Xyz, you can discard a Spriggan's card. Note that. That means it could be Spell Trap. And then special summon a Spriggan's Xyz from your extra deck. So again, we can generate our Xyz monsters without initially having the materials, which again is just fantastic. Additionally, if a face-up Xyz monster you control leaves the field by card effect except damage step, you can target a monster your opponent controls that cannot attack for the rest of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. Another really good effect, and this is going to work well with a handful of them, especially the Merrymaker. Was the play I tended to work the most with. We get the continuous Spriggan's Booty. And again, I did want to wait till Lightning Overdrive because I knew these guys were going to get a few more cards. I realized I also pushed it back a little bit from Lightning Overdrive, so it's been out for a minute. If a face-up Xyz monster you control leaves the field by a card effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls. Neither player can activate that effect monster's effects on the field this turn. You can send this face-up card to the graveyard, activate one Great Sand Sea Gold Golgonda directly from the deck or the graveyard, using each effect once per turn. So that's like having, wow, it's almost like, it's more like Metaverse, honestly. Since we can just activate it instead of adding to hand. But then that's like 3 more searches just for our field spell. So that's good. We got Watch, which again, add 1 Great Sand Sea Gold Golgonda from the deck to the hand. And if it happens to already be in play in a field zone, that you can apply the following effect instead. Add 1 Springans monster from deck to hand, and if you do, send 1 from deck to graveyard. And again, this means we can get more effects out of it. We can get our Xyz monsters loaded up with more materials faster, and this really helps us pick up the pace. So again, not bad to open it and use it for its primary effect. Better if you already have the field spell, at which point you get better effects out of it. It's Rhoda and Foolish Burial at the same time. It's awesome. The 1 Terraforming, because again, we want to see our field spell as soon as possible. The 3 trade-ins, because we do want to get those draw power into this deck. Some of my friends were saying that some people just weren't adding draw power because of the like the toss abilities and everything. And I felt like this was another way to just kind of bank off of being able to send, like, again, brothers to the discard pile. So like if we just revisit that guy one more time real quick. Brother says if sent from hand or deck to graveyard, target 1 in the graveyard, except same and special summon it. So we can get a draw 2 and a special summon right there, right off the rip, just on a trade-in. Very versatile play. Again, Strike, great for taking out those monster effects. Even better at taking out special summons. The Blast. The Blast is necessary to know. So if you control a Springans monster, choose one of opponent's main monster zone. That's one of these guys. So choose that zone. During this turn, it can, if a monster is face up in that zone, during this turn, it cannot attack directly. And also, its effects are negated. So we kind of get like almost like, not a battle fader, but definitely like an effect veiler effect. It's sort of like just a little freeze on a character. Almost like Fiendish Chains. Fiendish Chains would be a good representation. If no monster is in that zone, then it just can't be used this turn. So if we stop right there and we think about links and the way that they play with the arrows, at a critical juncture, we may be able to shut off an arrow point. And depending on where our opponent is in their combo, this could freeze it. This could stop the combo. They might not be able to go full combo on you. And that's way too many times to say combo. Additionally, if you control a fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz as material, generally we're not going to. You could choose 2 zones instead. So very cool if I was playing a Fallen of Albaz variant, which is also very cool. Just don't own the card. This would get better, and I would actually contemplate boarding more. We do run 1 copy of Spriggan's Call. So this one, target a Spriggan's monster or a Fallen of Albaz in the graveyard, special summon it. So sort of like Back to the Front. During the main phase, except the turn this was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this and a fusion monster in your graveyard. Target a Spriggan's Xyz that you control. Attach a fusion material that lists Fallen of Albaz as material from the extra deck to the monster as material, using each effect once per turn. Now, we can still sort of do this because we are running 2 copies of Sprint the Iron Dash. But again, since I'm only running 2 copies, I did want to limit how many of these I was going to have because this can brick very quickly as far as the additional effect. But for the primary, just getting that extra special summon can help you go off. And then, of course, there's the 3 Torrential Tributes. When a monster or monsters is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. Again, we can just rebuild a board from scratch. It's very easy. And it's another huge, I don't want to say middle finger. That sounds too aggressive. But it's definitely a big shrug to throw at your opponent and go, yeah, well, it happened. Let's see if you can keep playing. So hit them with the shrugs, guys. Hit them with the shrugs. The extra deck, one more time. 2 copies, Sprint the Iron Dash. For the most part, we're never summoning this. During the main phase, you could move this to another zone that you control in the main zones, and you could destroy all other cards face up in this card's column. This sort of reminds me of like Mech Knights in that aspect. If this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, which is the effect we're going to be using more often, you can add to your hand or special summon a Spriggans or Fallen of Albaz from your deck. And again, that's the effect I want. That's the effect I'm looking for. Another great tech would be adding the Dogmatica trap. That common Dogmatica that lets you peel fusion out of your extra deck and destroy a monster with the attack equal to or less than the one that you peeled. Of course, if you do that, probably add Elder Entity Intis to your extra deck as well. But 2 copies there. We are running the single Dingarusu or Dinjarusu, or however, again, I'm supposed to pronounce this guy. Because we do have the opportunity, we can try to play this on occasion. 1, because it's not going to happen as often as you'd like. 2 level 8s. Effect here, you can only special summon this character once per turn. You can also exeese this card by using an Orcus Linked, which we're not going to do. If a card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach a material from this instead. And if this is special summoned, you can activate one of the following effects. Send a card your opponent controls to the graveyard. We're going to do that a lot. Or attach one of your banished machines to this card as material. Again, we can do that. And that'll allow our cards to get back into the discard when this guy does leave the field. At which point, once per turn, they can all equip back over to our actual Spriggan Exees. So that's cool. Right here, we're going to do this out of order from alphabetics. The normal play is going to be to go to double to regular, and then either you're going to try for the 1/ there, or you're going to stack it and go for the prime to lightning, depending on your situation. You don't always need to play the double. It's just there to search out our double or nothing. So double, 2 level 4s. Quick effect, attach material from this, add double or nothing from your deck to hand, special summon from your extra deck, 1 Utopia, Exees monster, except double. Using this face-up card, you control as material, and if you do, the attack is doubled. It cannot attack directly. This is treated as Exees. Transfer its materials to the summoned monster. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, I'd like to point out that it does say Utopia in quotes, Exees monster. It doesn't say which one. You don't always have to go to this one. That's if you want this guy to be 10k. Another move I have done is I've gone straight to Lightning. And then Lightning is at 5,000. And I can still go ahead and use regular Utopia to knock off his attack. And then go into a double with him at 10. At which point your opponent cannot respond to the attacks. Which is fine. Again, Utopia, when a monster declares an attack, rip material. Negate attack. If this card is targeted for attack while no material, destroy it. So fantastic, fantastic. Prime is for just giving Utopia Lightning an extra name on board. Because again, we can also exeese some of this using number 39 Utopia as material. Material transfers. We don't need to worry about the last portion of the effect. It doesn't happen very often, so I'm just going to skip it. Again, I just use it as an extra step going into this. Watch out. I do know that this could allow Nibiru to get you, so play around what you think is going to happen and based around the cards that you have to support yourself. Utopia the Lightning, you can also use this using a rank 4 Utopia that you control as material. Again, transferring materials. Cannot be used as material for an Exees summon. If this card battles, the opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Very Ancient Gear-esque. But again, it says the opponent. It doesn't say us. So if you can generate double into Lightning, Lightning will be 5,000. And then you can also generate regular Utopia and actually do the double or nothing just to your 39 and get him up to 10k, and he can crash with your opponent not being able to respond. His other effect, and this is generally going to be used once you go all the way through the Utopias to him. Once per chain, during damage calculation, if it battles an opponent's monster while this has Utopia Exees material as monster, or monster as material, quick effect, detach 2 materials from this card. The attack becomes 5k during damage calculation only. Again, he can overpower things, and this is sort of like the Exees version of trying to play something like Access Code Talker or Boral Sword. Again, I would try to get him up to the 10k, generate the two Exees monsters, and try to go for game that way. We do have Merrymaker. It is rank 4, just requires 2. If this is special summon from the extra deck, and that does count using our field spell, you can send 1 Spriggans from deck to discard. Again, this will allow us to extend on a summon. if we're using brothers. During the opponent's main or battle phase, as a quick effect, we can banish this card until the end phase. If we banished it with 2 or more materials, we can also send a fusion from the extra deck to the graveyard that lists Fallen of Albaz as material using each effect once per turn. The goal here would be to be able to use Sprint to get a special summon out of our deck. And again, it doesn't care what the level's going to be. X-Blower, we maximize this rank 8 at 3. You can choose one of your opponent's monster or spell trap zones, detach any number of materials from the card. If you do, destroy a number of cards your opponent controls in the zone and adjacent monster and spell trap zones. So again, if we choose a spell trap zone, we can destroy 1 monster and 2 spell traps. If we go in a monster zone in front of an extra zone and your opponent has played to that, you could destroy that. Or sorry, it would be your opponent's zone anyway. You may not be able to do that because it doesn't say main zone, so I'm assuming you could do an extra zone, and I could take out a main thing. Mostly, if you attack one of these zones, you could take out a monster here, take out their link monster or whatever, possibly hit another couple of monsters, and then go ahead and take a back row out. During the opponent's main or battle phase, as a quick effect, you banish this until the end phase. You can use each effect once per turn. So again, it can kind of play defensively as well. That's cool. And then it's just some basic disruption on the for the links, guys. IP Masquerade letting us play during the opponent's turn. Generally, just going into Unicorn, it's the best disrupt. You could also go with Phoenix. So that's it. That's the build. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if the explanations got a little confusing. It's one thing when you're spending 4 hours researching the cards and their interactions and trying to get the pronunciations right. It's a whole nother when you sit down to do the videos. It's different, and sometimes your head is like 5 cards ahead. So again, thank you guys for watching. And seriously, my biggest wish here is that you guys just have a great day. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.